first I have to tell you and warn you, this isn't fucking funny. I'm sorry, it's not. The second thing is I want to apologize to all Schindlers. And you'll know why in a minute. After the fact, I have a line from a poem I wrote, which says, I felt a sadness so deep, I went to Auschwitz to justify it. I was going to a conference in Krakow, in Poland. First of all, you take a LOT flight because it was the cheapest. And LOT was the last airline to outlaw smoking on the plane. So you're flying to Poland on this LOT jet, and it's like you're in a fucking gas chamber. So you're happy to get out of there. Krakow was interesting. Spielberg had given the city a bunch of lights that they could light their downtown with as a gift after he did, Schindler's List. Schindler's. But there's soot halfway up the walls of all the buildings in the downtown. All the shop windows have plumbing supplies and car parts and stuff because people fix all that stuff themselves because Poland's still pretty poor. I met a colleague at Jagiellonian University who had sold her car the last winter to get her heating paid for. So it's a country that's weird in a lot of ways. The conference was interesting and good, but on Thursday, we had the opportunity to go on an excursion. You had a choice of going to the salt mines or to Auschwitz. I went to Auschwitz. If you haven't been, you should go. If you've been, you probably know that you can't go again. It's an overcast day anyway, so it's not a particularly happy moment. When you walk under the gate of the work camp that says, Arbeit macht frei. You enter the first little foyer, and this is kind of interesting. There's a big backlit map of Europe that has a dot for the location of where each of the inmates came from. And on the back of that, there's also the same light backlighting another map of Europe that's where all the guards came from, and they're coextensive. It always annoys me when the Holocaust gets blamed on one people because it's a crime that our species committed upon itself. There was a wonderful Israeli writer that wrote one time, there's two responses to the Holocaust. One is, this will never happen again. And the other is, this will never happen again to us. One wonders about the relationship between the Israelis and Palestinians, and that's exactly what he's talking about, what he referred to as the victory of Hitler. Well, the work camp is sort of a museum. You're shown all these things. You're shown the gas chamber with the humans scratching as high as they can go on the wall. You hear about the Zyklon B, which was a pesticide, for God's sakes. The almond smell, the smell that the camp always smelled nutty to people coming in. You saw the cells, you saw the torture boxes, you saw nasty, nasty things. And there's everyone breaks down sobbing at some point or another. Mine, it wasn't the first room, waist high with combs. It wasn't the second, waist high with human hair. It was the third, waist high with suitcases, and the one in the front said, Johanna, my daughter's name. Brought it home. But there's something really cathartic about a place that has human intentions and a lot of stories that have cruelty in them, stories that have compassion, stories that have tragedy, stories that have survival. Those are cathartic. You go to the death camp and the stories end there. Because the evil there is not about individuals' intentions, it's about the industrial scale of the thing. Chimneys that belch smoke 24/7, ash that to this day is 10% human ash, or soil that is 10% human ash. 6,000 people killed at this death factory per day at its height, or its nadir, if you want to call it that. So you're pretty much exhausted. You're drained. Your tank is empty by the time you get back to the bus stop. You're also really, really dehydrated because you've been walking around and sucking air as she sobbed. So I'm thirsty, so I go over one of these kiosks. There's kiosks everywhere in Poland. And there's souvenirs. Am I a souvenir at this place? There's snacks. I'm not especially hungry. This is something that I will never digest, and I hope none of us ever do. But I'm really dehydrated. I'm really thirsty. So I go up to the little man, and I'm trying to use my Polish a little bit, so I go, woda? Woda? And he just looks at me and says, gas or no gas?
Oh.